Good evening. Tonight, some more Mock Tome farming. And we're mainly going to be focusing on more Frontline. I felt that was a pretty good way of going about it last time. Both gives it's somewhat fun to play. And, well, it's less samey than doing something like P1 spam or something like that. And it's also a pretty good way to, like, show off some Frontline for all of you. Hey Kamui! And hey Gazel, and hey Kitsuneko, I hope you're doing well. Yeah, so, just to go over it one more time. The most effective way to farm mock tomes, like the well-known most effective ways, I'll go over them real quick. Like the last two mock tome streams, I also went over them. I'm going to go a little faster this time. Hey Mihuels, hey Raka, and hey Uru, I hope you're all doing very well as well. So, the de facto best strategy for farming mock tomes, I believe, is still Rival Wings. However, that's assuming that matches are resolved at like an average reasonable time and the queue time isn't too long. So if you need to sit in queue for like 5 minutes and the matches take 10 minutes, then you have to like count it up. It's going to be 15 minutes. If you keep losing, then it's not a great look. But if the queue time is really short, then this is a great strategy. Even if you lose, like if the queue time is instant, then as long as the matches don't take the full 15 minutes every time, and I'm pretty sure they don't, then Rival Wing should be the best option. Like, no contest. Raka says might want to put a link to your old video. Well, I mean, the previous streams where I talked about it, I can do that. Believe it was this one. It's going to be slightly more detail in that stream, and it's going to be at the start as well. So if you don't want to do Rival Wings, that's understandable. It's a little unusual, and the queue times might be really weird because of the fact that it has no no roulette related. Also, hey Zach, hope you're doing well. So if you don't want to do Rival Wings, or the queue times are really obnoxiously long, then the second best is either regular Frontline, or if you have access to it, because you might be a Sprout, you might not have finished the MSQ, but if you have it, then as Vodella's the first circle is possibly the next best choice. And now, the thing is, that's regardless of whether you go into Party Finder and put together one of these ridiculous groups, which is 1 tank and 7 DPS. That's a lot faster. If you can get the group together, you probably can. But if you don't want to use Party Finder, just queuing for it should give you like a decent result. A decent result, not like anywhere near as incredible as if you get a Party Finder group, but it's going to be decent. The core difference is that with a Party Finder group, you can sometimes get a clear within 2.5 minutes. So with the time included of, you know, exiting, re-entering, and then going again, it's going to be around 3 minutes per clear. So that's 1 mock tome per run, or per minute, which is very competitive with Rival Wings at its peak, like, or well, at its average. Its peak is actually close to 2 mock tomes per minute. But if you're just queuing for P1, then the clear time can be anywhere between like around 3.5 minutes to over 6 minutes if your group is really bad. You know, if people start dying and stuff. So, like, that is something to consider. The Party Finder version, the Party Finder version is a lot more consistent, but it takes more time to set up, and you might be lucky. But, as Kamui says, while P1N is very effective and very consistent and reliable compared to Rival Wings and Frontline, where you might just lose and the matches might take a really long time, it's very boring. Very boring. Once the fun aspect of, oh wow, look at how quickly we're killing this boss, starts to like wane, then this becomes really, really, really boring. And just to round up on that, if you don't want to do that, anything with this 10 symbol is next to it. Any one of them, like all of these, for example, all of these, whoops, these, you know, some of this, some of that. If you look at a piece of content and see that it gives like a certain number of tomestones, if you look at it and go, I could probably do that in twice that amount of minutes. As in, for example, if you genuinely believe you can beat the tower at Paradigm's Breach in 28 minutes, you probably can't, but let's say you could, then this would be a decent like turnaround in terms of like time investment versus mock tomes obtained. If you then also add in the factor that you could do content where you actually want something from it, like for example, maybe you want the outfit that drops from Puppet's bunker, then it doesn't even matter whether you can beat it in 24 minutes or 30 minutes, because you're going there for a different reason. The tomestones are a bonus. So keep that in mind. If you can find stuff that gives mock tomes that you wanted to do anyway, then do that for your mock tome farming. Do that, because if you do stuff that you were going to do anyway, then you're like getting way more value out of your time, because you're like getting like double value, and it doesn't matter about the clear time. So consider that. There's also the detail that Alliance raids, like the Near Alliance raid series, have a much more consistent queue time during mock tome event. So if you actually want something from these three Alliance raids, do it now and not like next month after the mock tome event is over, because it's going to take way longer when you do it then. Just consider that. A bunch of considerations. I see some more people came while I was talking. Hey Ymir, hey Tracy, I hope you're both doing very well. Hey Rust and James and Petro. Good afternoon to you too. And Coco. Yeah, I hope you're all doing super well. So, the way that we are going to be farming mock tomes on this stream is primarily through Frontline. There's a few reasons for that. The first one is that it is a very farmable piece of content that gives some decent rewards. The second reason is that most players can do it. Like, for example, P1, only people that have completed the majority of the MSQ can actually join for that. So that greatly limits how many people can actually join. And, I mean, it's not nearly as soul-crushing as some of the other things. And also, as Kamui puts it, Frontline is heavily underrated. I think that stuff like Moogle Tomestone events is a good way, a good opportunity to shine a little light on how fun it can be. I mentioned this on the Discord. I have done like Frontline streams previously to shine a little light on Frontline. It's complete chaos, but that's what makes it fun and makes it very approachable. So I hope that it will motivate you to give it a chance. Now, so the one limitation that we have in making Frontline groups is that we can only join as groups of 4. However, we can game the odds to make sure that there's an extremely high chance we land in the same match. We might not land on the same team, but we will land in the same match. The only requirement to join for Frontline is 1, you've unlocked the content, and 2, you're not on the free trial. A key thing to keep in mind here is that on the free trial, you can indeed unlock Frontline, but if you ever try to queue for it, it will just not let you. So you have to not be on the free trial. I'm assuming most people here want to join. But just to make sure, if you want to join up for Frontline, come over to me. Like, just walk over here. Like, you won't be able to see it, but, you know, come to me, to this mark where I am. And then I'll see how many we are. And then I'll see how we'll make the groups. Because we might need multiple groups. So, it doesn't matter that we're 4 already. Like, come on down if you want to join. And we'll make 2 groups. And I specifically know Kitsuneko is on the free trial, so they can't join. DTZ Carter says, is there a good way to take part in the event if I'm lower level? Frontline. If you're level 30 and have your job crystal and you're not on the free trial, you can do Frontline. If you're... Just a moment. Gazel says 30-second delay from stream. I'm pretty sure there's not a 30-second delay on the stream. Pretty sure. You press the live button on your stream, on the stream, it should catch up to when it is right now. But yeah, Frontline, Kata, is very good. If you don't like PvP and you're very low level, then your best options are these two. They're not the best, but they're decent, and they're relatively accessible. So Castrum and Praetorium, you don't really want to queue for the main scenario because you don't want to roll this one. You'd rather not get that one. If you want the main scenario roulette anyway, then go for it. Like, as I said before, double value if you're doing stuff you're going to do anyway. Right. So... let me just see here. Kamui says, I think one of the best benefits of Frontline as well is there's 72 players, so your personal responsibility is way lower than Crystalline Conflict. Very true. Right. Let me just check here. Okay, so let's see. We are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. I get the impression that there might be... Is Tracy also coming? Or is it more you're just coming over to hang out? We can also just make groups of what we have right now. Did I miscount? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, we're 8. Okay. I think. Oh, Coco was away, that's why. Okay. So we're already 8 here. We can of course have 3 groups if we're more than that. But let me start by, so I'm going to randomly roll to choose who lands in my group, because like Sip is going to be the leader of the other group, so that we have friendly people in both of all of your friendly people, of course, but so that we have the 2 squads, so that it's not entirely unfair. Although, based on how it went last week, it might almost be a curse to be on my team, because I'm pretty sure we lost a lot more on my team. Let me see. How is it? Like that. Right. Incredible random rolling. Let's see. Yoop. And yoop. And yoop. I'm assuming Coco's joining. So, I randomly rolled 2, 3, and 4. I just assigned people random numbers. So, Ymir, Gazel, and Lessa is on my team. Assuming that everyone here wanted to actually come along. Sip, Coco, Aridel, so Gelano, and Tedanima, which is me who else, is going to be on Sip's team. So I told him to invite you. So if you got an invite, accept it. And I'll make sure that everyone has accepted before we start. Yep. And then the way it's going to work is that I'm going to say a time. Tracy, you can come over. And then we'll figure out how to make the groups. We can rearrange the groups. Because we can make three-man groups, for example. Now we just have 2 4-man groups. It's mostly whether you want to. You also said something about massive lag. It might not be super fun for you if you have a lot of lag, so maybe... maybe... Yeah, exactly, by the time you've got here. Also, it isn't the FC house, it's my house. It's my house. I'll just pin my house. Right. So, the way it's going to work is I'm going to make a ready check on my end. I think Sip already made a ready check on his end. If you said yes, it means we're assuming that you're ready. And I will say an Eorzean time, and I will queue when it strikes that number on my screen. What you do is you click Q on you when it says the same time on your screen. You don't have to wait for when the stream says that it's that time. You just click when the times match. And just to test, we're not queuing this time. You could write something when the Eorzean time says 11:40 for you. So that's in 3 seconds, 2 seconds or so. A little bit more than that. So now, right? So as far as I can see, there's about 3 or 4 seconds of delay, I'm pretty sure, if you're watching live. It matters a little bit, because if I am 30 seconds ahead, it doesn't work if I say a time that doesn't even come up in time, right? Right. So I'll make a ready check. And I'm pretty sure Sip already made one, but if he feels the need to make another one, he can go again. Seems my team is ready. I will queue when it says 12:05. I'll write that. I'm giving it a little extra just in case Sip needs to make any ready check. And what typically happens is that we land in the same match, but not necessarily in the same team. And now. Seems we queued together. That's good. At least at the same time, and it didn't start yet, so there's pretty much a guarantee that we're landing in the same match. Might not land on the same team. But that of course means that if you're not on my team, that you have the opportunity to work on your Kai death ratio, as we talked about last week. The amount of times you killed me versus the amount of times I killed you. Kamui says Porta de Gomana sucks because the cutscenes make it longer than Castrum. Exactly. If I remember correctly, the expected average for Castrum is around 16 minutes, maybe a bit more depending on your group. Praetorium is actually expected to be around 27 minutes according to some, but in my experience it's typically at least 30. But it might be that the average is 28. The problem is that Porta de Cumana also has an average clear time of around 16 minutes, but it gives less tomestones than Castrum. That's why it is considered bad, is because it's the same clear time, but it's just worse rewards. That is the reason. But if you are not super far in the MSQ, oh, there we have the... If you're not further than having... If you have just those 3 as your options, and you're on the free trial, then doing those 3 fights isn't bad. If you're not on the free trial, you can always do PvP, but some players don't like PvP. That's why I offer up some other options. Hey Alita, hope you're doing well. And also, that's fair, Tracy. Part of the reason why we are doing this mock tome farm is mainly just for the fun of it. I have a long list of things that I want, and the argument for me wanting them is I don't have this, I don't have this, I don't have this. Like, that is actually the reason for me picking the items that I want. It's just I don't have them. So a bunch of the items I won't mind if I don't get them. Let's see here. I don't see Sip here, so Sip is on a different team. And apparently our other team is, well, either it's Maelstrom and Coco is there, or they landed on Immortal Flames, and we're arguing that, and Coco's arguing that Maelstrom wins because no one from the stream is on that team. That would be pretty funny. Alita says just sitting in a boring school meeting. Oh, well, be careful you don't miss something important. That'll be really awkward. I'm doing well. I hope you're doing well as well. So also the reason why I'm starting with Dark Knight is because I believe that was actually a job that was a little bit up in the air that we wanted to try last week, but it was a little late in the stream, so we just didn't get to that. So we're starting with it this time. Indeed, Visels, it is Unsalaka. I specifically, if I can avoid it, I will skip any week where, or any day where it's Shatter, but I don't mind Unsalaka or Seas. Both of those are fun. What? How did we get that? What is Immortal Flames doing? What is Maelstrom doing? What are we doing? Why are we not sandwiching red? Ow. A lot of people don't really like Shatter of Icells. It's the rework of it has made it a little awkward. And it says your guide videos have been super helpful. I haven't played in a couple of months and took a picture of level 60 Dark Knight rotation because I couldn't remember it. Oh, nice. I'm glad that you find that helpful. Ah. Just because you have a limit break doesn't mean you have to just throw it out. Nope. Someone's calling out to get us in the cave. We got it. Ah, I didn't see the samurai in time. I got whoopsied. And the samurai was Sip. He was specifically probably aiming to get me specifically. Oh, I know, Raka. The problem is that we have random teams, so you can only do so much. There's also the part that I haven't actually played Dark Knight very much in PvP, so I'm not super experienced with it. Oh, that looks like a bait. And we get the 4. The A rank. I'm not sure what's making it so easy for us to get all these points. Ooh, this is a little sketchy because Red really wants to get in on us. Yeah, I'm dead. A little bit over focused. I thought I could really do something there. Uh-oh. I'm not that good at Dark Knight. I feel like every time I go in, it's the wrong time. But it'll get better. Most of the time when I'm playing PvP, I'm playing, you could say, like mid-range jobs, like ninja who can attack from afar if it's scary, or long-range jobs like scholar that doesn't even have to be anywhere near the fight. That is a bait. That is also a bait, I think. Someone is grabbing it. Good. There we go. I'm starting to at least be able to get something. Uh-oh, there's another Shrank. There's a Shrank that we could actually get. A new S-Rank. It's time for Shrank. That hurt. Another Dancer limit break. Oh, Visels, the reason why I used it like that was specifically because, again, I was hoping to make like a significant push. But yeah, it's a matter of like learning what your team is willing to follow you on sometimes. I think there's a good chance that Blue's winning. Visels, you also have to remember that I'm not entirely with randoms. And you can't actually make that. Oh, don't do this if you're in with randoms, because on average, at most 3 of your party members are typically actually not randoms. So that's like saying you can't do anything. Like, you can never trust your team, but sometimes you have to trust your team. Taking chances and learning who follows you is what you have to do sometimes. You don't even trust your free company. Well, then you need to work on your trust. You need to trust people more, Vicels. This is an MMORPG. You actually have to trust some people to win. Ah, they got it. Basically, the thing is, Vicels, if you only go like halfway into the enemy, the only way you can actually force them to actually fight you is if you're standing between the spot they want to go to and where they are. So if you don't actually come to them, then they can just not go into your salted earth. And part of the reason why you're actually using your salted earth where they are is because it actually sucks in enemies. That's why I do it like that. I know that I'm not the best Dark Knight, but I have a pretty good idea of what you'd want to do, and that's what I'm going for. That's not a disengage tool. That's not a disengage tool, Vicels. Blotter pulls an enemy to you. That's not a disengage. That is literally an engage tool. It's not a disengage tool, and you're only disengaging one person. Even if it was. Right. Are we the same people? Just a moment on that, Vicels. So Salted Earth plus Salt and Darkness is actually a bind. And Salted Earth pulls in enemies in quite a distance. Blotter is only a heavy for 1 extra second. So, like, if you had Salted Earth or you had Blotter, it's basically same in terms of, like, CC. Anyway, we're going again. It doesn't look like there's anyone else that then wants to join up as well, unless they're hiding. Let's say 7:05. Myself, you get 6 if you lose. You get 10 if you're first place. So it's 6 or 10. Oh, Eclipse left. Well, we're still queuing on time. Six for 15 minutes or 10 for 15 minutes. Well, let's see here. It depends on how quickly the match finishes. The assumption, so basically, the assumption is that the average Frontline match is around 14 minutes. Sometimes it's significantly shorter, sometimes it's somewhat longer because it caps at 20 minutes. But the average, if we assume that there's an equal chance that you get first, second, or third place, then the average payout is 7 and then a little bit, like 7 point something. Because you go 10 plus 6 plus 6 divided by 3. And if the match takes 14 minutes, then that is actually slightly above average. You know, Vicels, allegedly, as I started with at the start of this stream, and the previous Mock-Tome stream, and the previous Mock-Tome stream, I believe we also talked about it, the most effective farms is absolutely not Castrum. The most effective ones are... let's see, Sip is not on my team again. Well then. Is Rival Wings, assuming the queue time is fine, which it isn't always, or P1. And if you're doing Blue Mage stuff, then you already have to make like a pre-made. So like, it's same whether you make a pre-made with Party Finder or you make a pre-made of Blue Mages. And P1 is more effective. Well, we're red team this time. But yeah, the point is that actually, even if you lose in Frontline, you get a decent amount. And there's also the key thing, as we talked about earlier, that it isn't soul-crushingly boring, as opposed to some of the other ones. Oh, what I mean, Vicels, is that, I mean, a lot of players don't bother even considering unlocking Blue Mage stuff until they're, like, way finished with other stuff. So, like, if you have a free company that, if you're in a free company that doesn't have that much stuff unlocked, I mean, like, if they're not very far in the story yet, they're probably not very far with Blue Mage either. Where's our team going? Oh, over there. No, listen, that's what I'm saying, Vicels, as Kamui said. The reason why people aren't doing Blue Mage this Mock-Tome season is because it isn't actually the best. Like, it's not even close. Oh. We are very bad at finishing kills. Very bad at finishing kills. Magitrix says, I like using P1N farms like a target dummy to practice rotations. That's actually a pretty good idea. There's a lot of things near our base. Now, what I mean by we're not good at finishing kills, myself, is did you see how many times I chased people with backup and no one killed them? Like, I literally went, had to give up on someone, went back, went to chase someone, and had to give up on them as well. Repeatedly. So that's what I meant by we are not good at finishing kills. It happens, but yeah. Amy got a whoopsie. Nice. That is an interesting way to do a sandwich right now. Oh, I got a kill. That is a lot of players. That is a lot of players. So one of the scariest things that I've noticed, like by specifically paying attention to how my team plays in general, is that sometimes you'll have teams where they actually play for the together. So like if someone calls to go mid, everyone gradually disconnects from battle, not leaving anyone behind. Your average team is going to see that someone called from mid, and then whoever's already in the exchange will just be left to die. If you everyone's on their own, it's your problem to figure out how you escape. And that is like the average group. That is also, I think, partly what killed a bunch of us there over at the yellow space, is that someone said mid, and then everyone was just off to the races. Look, that's a sip. It's a wild sip. I know, Vysels. The thing is, generally, you should be able to see what you need to see in the middle of a battle in the minimap. You shouldn't need all this. In the middle of fighting, like, if you can't actually get there, then there's no reason to watch there. That's why I often close the minimap when I'm not actually going to look at it, because it blocks some of the screen. But you're right, that generally having the map open is not a bad idea. You know what, Vysels? I'm pretty sure you're pessimistic. Not that I'm specifically optimistic, because every time I suggest even the idea that someone might be worth trusting, you're like, ah, nah, no chance. Everyone's an idiot. Ah. I was hoping to jump to a party member, but then there was no one. Oh, and the mid battle is still going on. The battle rages on. Oh, we actually got it. Raka says Square Enix needs to review the UI for this specific mode. This thing in the top, right? This thing in the top was added recently. So they actually have. I don't know why they have both the thing on the right and on the top, but the thing in the top is new. So they actually have reviewed the stuff. We have the classic thing known as double commander problems. Someone announced that we should sandwich yellow, and then we just kind of didn't. And then we instead had some people like stuck in the crossfire just getting killed. The thing is, they're not even fighting each other. It's just that one person called for something and then 2 seconds later someone else called for something else. Raka, I don't think removing the minimap would be a good idea. The whole point is that some people appreciate having the minimap in addition to this. Like saying they should hide the minimap or remove the minimap is about the same as saying, well, I don't play with 3 hotbars, so why should there be 3 hotbars when 2 is plenty for me? Because, you know, you can actually hide the minimap on your own volition. Like, you can willingly hide it if you want. So why should they remove a feature when it has always been something you could toggle on your own? You know what I mean? They could make it so that there was like just one map, like that they replaced both maps with like a forced open map. Yeah, exactly, Raka. That's what I mean by saying they could remove the minimap because I don't use it. Like, actually, you see, I don't move the target menu very much when I play, so they might as well just anchor that to the top of your screen and just remove the option to move it. Wait, what? Apparently we won. Right, just one moment. Raka says, my problem is the lack of information that minimap conveys. I mean, the minimap in Frontline conveys the exact same amount of information as the actual map. It's just like a smaller slice of it. So, Vicels, did you feel like I was constantly out of position and in the wrong space? Because I didn't feel like that. Because the thing is, I only checked the map when I was like, well, I don't know where I'm going. You never get to understand the position of your opponents properly. You do know that you can't actually see the enemy dots unless it's within reach of someone else, right? Hey Noah, hope you're doing well. In these fights, there's always someone scouting. Okay, so just a few things. You can't, like, the thing is that when you're in Frontline, you have a lot of ideas about how things go. You can't you can't trust anyone, so never go full dive as a Dark Knight, and also go, it's better to go full dive if you can trust someone, while also having everyone's random in Frontline, so you can't actually trust everyone, and also go, there's always someone scouting, because everyone's random. Like, each team is different. Each team is chaos, is what I'm getting at here. So like, yeah, it might be more helpful to look at the map, but what I'm saying is that the map takes up a lot of space. I could take a match and just lock the map on screen like this. But the point is that you can't, like, all of these things can't be true at once, right? So the best you can do is make the most of your team. But I can try with the map open. But the point I'm trying to make is that it literally, you can't, like, because everything's random, you can't make any assumptions about your team. Wait, if me who else is leaving, then we can actually be 4 players. We can just have one big party. Can you just invite me, Sib? But it's I think the problem with the minimap thing is that it's similar to the clicker discussion. I'll just explain that. Obviously, using the keybinds on your keyboard instead of just your mouse to play the game gives you a slight advantage, if not a significant advantage in the game. However, you need to master that first. And if you're a clicker and you don't want to learn it, then when you're suggested to try it, you're going to have a massive, like, skill barrier to even get into using your keybinds. So you're going to play worse if you do. Similarly, having this massive block just somewhere on my screen all the time might confuse me, even though it's not that big of a deal. Like, for the most part, it's see-through, right? But I'm just saying, like, this might be the best place to put it, but then it's like blocking menu buttons. That kind of irks me. And that's why I have it where I normally have it, and then I just check it when I need it. Like that is the reason. So it's basically a matter of learning it. And I'm used to opening the map to check. But I can try it like this. Like, I can try it with both. I don't actually need to see what's over here anyway, so I could try it like that. Yeah, I have seen you clicking, Ymir, but I've also seen you specifically making misclicks or having to make concessions on your openers and rotations because you're simply, it's difficult to click everything you need to on time. But it's not actually about whether you can do the rotation or not when you're clicking. It actually has nothing to do with whether you can do it or not. My question is, and just for anyone wondering, it's because Ymir is a clicker. Nothing wrong with that. It's not meant as an insult. It's just a thing. Do you look at your cursor when you're, like, managing your hotbars and clicking the things? Not at all. Not really. That is surprising. But the general argument is actually not about, like, it is partly about jobs that have particularly fast APM, is that that it might be really difficult to click all the buttons on time. Like, where you put your keybinds is pretty important so that they're within reach of each other where you need them. But the main argument for why people advise against clicking is that you need to look at your hotbars more when you're clicking than if you're not clicking. The assumption being that you need to keep track of where your mouse is. Just like how if I need to target something over here, I need to keep track of where my mouse is. So you would be looking down here more than someone who uses keybinds would have to. And that's the argument, which means there's more opportunities to miss what's happening up here. But the thing is that clickers have done most content in the game, no problem, right? On a previous stream, I mentioned that in the first season of Crystalline Conflict, I mean, one of the best white mages in the Crystal rank on Chaos was a clicker. And I discovered that because he streamed his matches. He was perfectly fine, right? No one noticed. The only people that noticed was people who watched his stream. Emir says I tap target because of that. I do both. I usually choose my target with the mouse if I need to target something specific, and then I'll just angle my camera so that my tap target actually lands on the correct enemy. But the problem is if my mouse is caught up clicking my buttons when I'm doing that, then I can't actually angle my camera at the same time unless I'm like keyboard turning. Like that. Those are the kinds of arguments that the best tool you have to turn your camera is actually your mouse. And your best tool to click your buttons is generally considered to be your keyboard. Mia says, I love the feeling of getting a whoopsie. It's like reverse depression. That's good. Anyway, it's just a discussion about optimization, and you can see it's actually the same. Can you see? Myself and Raka, can you see that it's a similar like defensive stance where you go, you should have your map open all the time, and I go, no, I don't wanna. I can play perfectly fine without it. I don't need it. I don't want it. And then I turn around and go, Ymir, you should actually use keybinds. And Ymir goes, no, I don't want it. I don't need it. I'm perfectly fine without it. Like, it's not that I'm saying that Ymir is being unreasonable. What I'm saying is that when you start, like, trying to get smart on someone else's playstyle, unless they're receptive to it, it's just not going to change anything. Like, they have to actively be willing to take the advice for it to work. Vicel says, what's a whoopsie? So a whoopsie originated from the Samurai Frontline stream many months ago. So a whoopsie is when you hit a samurai with this buff up, and then the samurai turns to look at you, looks at you, and clicks this, and you die. That's a whoopsie. Why is it a whoopsie? Well, you messed up and attacked the samurai at the wrong time. Oops. Or whoops, right? So that's why it's a whoopsie. Yeah, anyway, my point was that... yeah, exactly. That's a whoopsie. My point was that if you try to, like, give advice to someone on how they should have their UI or how they should play the game, but they're not actually receptive to it, then the more you try to push it, the more entrenched and defensive that recipient will be, right? On a different note, maybe we should get started on the next match. What job should I play next? I feel like Gunbreaker. Thank you, Vicels. Making a new ready check. Sip said he's AFK for a bit. He said AFK for a second, so I'm a little bit confused. I'm going to queue. And since it's just the 4 of us, I'm just going to queue. Emir says, I do use keybinds on my 1, 2, 3 or on Monk for some reason. Here's the thing. Many years ago, because I'm a very old man, I played World of Warcraft with keybinds on just the one hotbar. And I basically only used the left hand and like the keyboard for like about this many buttons, like 6 of them. Maybe 7 or 8, but the rest of the entire list of buttons, who by the way were all over the place, like somewhere over here, I would click with the mouse. Then in Cataclysm of World of Warcraft, I bought an MMO mouse, which I keybound so that I could easily access these 3 buttons. I still clicked the rest. It took, like, until some point in Mists of Pandaria, I believe, before I actually, like, made keybinds for 3 hotbars and figured out a decent way to access the majority of the hotbars without clicking. And it also required of me to refuse to click it. Like, literally go, no, I will not click my buttons. I will only use keybinds now. Like, it required a lot of effort from me to do that. So that's why I'm saying that you actually need to really like make a concerted effort to become better at keybinds, because if you're used to playing games in one way and you're told this other way is better, then you would have to like learn that. Like, for example, how I believe in Monster Hunter there was this legendary thing people did called the claw grip. You would need to learn how to play the game from the very start. All the way from the beginning again with the claw grip to be able to play it well with the claw grip. And that's just one example. Hey Titus! Oh, I hope you're well as well. I used the claw grip for the memes. So here's the thing, I'm going to try my best to keep the main map open for this entire match. I kind of promised Vicels and Raka that I would try it. What you're going to experience is me not looking at it very much, because normally my main map is in the top left. And you're probably also going to experience me regularly closing it like this, only to remember, oh right, it's already open. That's how it looks when you're picking up something new. But I will try. Feel like my group is just running in circles right now. Ah, I didn't even see that they were guarding. It is pretty funny when there's like a lull of time where there's no notes to go for or anything. So you're just kind of standing there like, I don't know what to go for. Got one. Another one. That's a little scary. Nope, I'm out of healing. Now I have to run. So in that entire exchange, I just want to highlight that I did not look at the map once, because I didn't have time to. I was busy fighting with what was in front of me. So having this map open didn't do anything. That was really hard. It's about practice, as you said. No, in this case, it specifically, I had no reason to look at the map. So the map would not actually have helped me because I was busy actually doing other stuff. There was no reason for me to ever look at the map in that moment. It could be about practice. I'm just saying that I don't see how being practiced with looking at the map would give me reason to look at the map. We can't do much, feels like. Cells, I just want to point out that the two matches you saw before this was me playing Dark Knight and Paladin, which are both jobs that I barely ever play in Frontline. So I didn't get very much Battle High because I didn't have any experience. I have had Battle High 5 very often with my way of playing the game. That's fair enough. Vila says, I never get Battle High. Are there any tips to accumulate it? Don't die. Step 1 is actually don't die. Like, if I should give one tip to get better at Frontline is, first of all, don't die. Like, try to learn how to play safer. Like, don't, like, play so safe that you're never engaging in anything. But play safer. That is like the first step to get Battle High, is to not lose it. Because every time you die, you lose half of your battle high, so you really don't want to do that. Once you stop dying, you can start focusing on getting assists or kills. Ah, I was so close to getting them just like that. And I had to chase them for a while. Ow, 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 ow. Oh, there's a sandwich. Watch out! It's red with a steel chair! No, no, no. Oops. Misclick there. I was hoping to yoink the junction on the DPS to get some more damage output. Oh, Miracle of Nature. The most fun debuff. Ah. So Ymir says, what is battle high? You see this like little buff next to the people here? For every 20 points of battle high you have, you get a stack of this buff. Each stack makes you do 10% more damage and 10% more healing, which means that your recuperate will heal for more. Ah, he's actually invulnerable, I didn't even realize. Where is our team? Well, if nothing else, I did the most damage on my team. Oh well. Visel says Miracle of Nature is perfectly balanced and fine. The classic meme. Wait a minute. Was Gilano not in that match? Was that intentional? Titus says, I'm very sad that I'm main scholar, so anyone in PvP seems to instantly gun for me because of biolysis and mummification. In Crystalline Conflict, I can see that, yeah. In Frontline, the way I typically play Scholar is that I'm actually, like, not even there. Like, I just go in, drop the plague, and then, like, I'm just out. I'm just outie 5,000. Just bye-bye. So if anyone's chasing me, they have to, like, wade through the rest of my team, hopefully. Which makes it a little easier. Yeah, so my experience of having the map here was that it felt like often I just felt like it didn't give me any information. But I'll keep it there because Vicel's actually came with an incredibly good point regarding the map. Which has nothing to do with what's best for me, but everything to do with what's best for you. What do you mean, Vicels? What do you mean? My face is too awkward. No, I don't mind. So, listen, the argument that Vicels came with that actually is pretty significant is... okay, so I'm kicking Coco so that Sip and Coco can go together. They wanted to do that. And then I'll invite Jelano. And then we have 2 groups. But the argument is that while I might prefer to play with, like, checking the map when I feel like it, it might be easier for all of you watching if you can actually see what's going on the entire map. And hey, if you can see what's going on the entire map, you might just be able to discuss, like, there's something weird happening in the southern region of the map while I'm in the northern region, and then I might glance at the live chat and go, oh really? And then look at the map and go, oh yeah. So, I mean, it might even things out. So I don't mind. I'll leave the map on like this so that you can actually follow what's going on. I don't mind. However, I will be right back. And then we'll continue. Alright, I'm back. So I also just thought of one other thing while I was away. So I don't know if Raka TV is still in the chat, but if they are, they did suggest maybe they should just remove this minimap. While that suggestion I thought was a bad idea, there was something that struck me while I was away, and that was in Crystalline Conflict. If I remember correctly, isn't there like a custom-made map specifically for Crystalline Conflict that shows basically all you need to know, like just on the map? I can't remember where it is exactly on the screen. I'm guessing you can move it, right? But like a custom-made map, so you don't need this map and you don't need this map. Like you don't need either of them because all of the information is on that one map. That would be pretty nice for Frontline, I think. That would be pretty nice. I don't know how they should make it. Oh. Then we're back to 4 again. Fair enough. Yeah, I just wanted to add that on that note, I can actually really well see how getting rid of the minimap would be pretty good. Like if it's replaced with something better. The problem for me was more that some people like to have the minimap, some people like to have the big map, some people like to have both. Titus says, I wonder if they could adjust the minimap to give at least colored icons that pop up to indicate distance from a node. You know, it would be pretty neat if there were like some sort of like more detailed indicators in general. Like maybe they could have it so that you could see nodes more clearly out in the distance while you're fighting, so you don't have to look look at the map to see what's going on. But if they made a detailed map like this, they might have to make it a little bigger, like, you know, like maybe this size. Like, I don't know, maybe like if they made it like maybe a little somewhere between these two sizes, and just put it somewhere on your screen, let you put it where you want it. And that it then had like much more clear indicators on the map, so that you could more easily see what's going on. Like sometimes it can be difficult to see how many people are in a blob on the map. So like if it they could make like actual blob indicators going, there's like 15 blue team here, and then there's like 8 orange, or like 8 yellow team here, and stuff like that. Like if you see like a bunch of players bunch up, so it doesn't just show a dot, it actually shows like approximately how many are there. I think that would be really, really helpful. That would be a lot easier to like gauge what's happening. But that's just like a thought now that we're on the while we're on the subject of, could we make the map better in Frontline? Because Crystalline Conflict already has a good map. But I'm guessing on Raka's silence that they either went to do something else or maybe are busy. That's fine. I just wanted to add that I just thought that maybe in retrospect it was actually a really good idea if we could like just completely overhaul how the map is in Frontline, we might be able to do way better. Yeah, that could work, Titus. Like a big beam that you can see out in the distance or something. And also, Vitals, hopefully one day we can have worldwide data center travel and then you can join. Although maybe worldwide data center travel to do PvP is going to be really, really painful, because then that means you're going to have a lot of lag. Oh, the lag. Ode to lag. Yeah, by the way, I went as Scholar this time because just before I went Be Right Back, I gave like some advice on Scholar, and sometimes it helps to actually demonstrate what you're talking about. Now, get ready to watch me completely fail at doing that for this match. Wouldn't that be totally in character for me? I think I did the same thing last week. Like, oh yeah, you just do Scholar like this, and then I died like 3 times trying to do, well, exactly that. This is annoying. I don't really want to go in like small skirmishes. I want to be like with the entire party. Nope. It's too far. It's not worth it. Stuff happening south. There we go. Oh. Nothing in the nothing close enough that I could hit with that. Wait, what? I got the kill with a lucky dot tick. That's incredible. It's like the universe just wanted me to have that one. Where's my team? It's mainly concentrated here, so I can't really... I don't recommend going over there, but most of my team is there, I think. Why are we, like, spawn camping yellow? I guess there's a particular reason why we're just dumpstering them in particular. Also, yeah, Kitsuneko, you should make sure to eat. Even if it doesn't feel, even if you think you don't need it, like you're like, I'm perfectly fine. Your body and your brain is going to start acting weird if you don't get enough food. And it's not going to feel like the reason is food. It's going to feel like something else is the problem. Just like how it might not be obvious that if you drink too much coffee, you might get like anxiety issues. Your body and your brain. You have a brain, Kitsuneko. I know you do. We're starting to reach a point where I'm a little afraid that we might lose because of lack of battle high. Like, both of the other teams are just farming battle high. Just ignore the nodes and go for yellow for no reason. The thing is, myself, and this is the scary part, you can lose matches by doing the, oh, it's fine, let them fight. We'll just grab all the nodes. Because the instant that the other teams go, oh, well, we're done with fighting, and they have like 8 people with battle high 5, anything you try to contest, you lose. Because the other team just is more powerful, and there's nothing you can do. Which is why I'm very scared. Like, we're in a situation where we might have to pray to finish the map quickly, because if we don't, then we're going to get steamrolled by the 2 other teams that are just like farming each other weirdly. But given how many points we're just being allowed to take like this, we might be able to do exactly that. Just speedrun the map. That is scary. There is, of course, the mild possibility that what actually happened while they were doing those trades is that they both just got nothing out of it. Now, that is a genuine chance that both teams played it so well that it didn't really amount to anything. Like, that is absolutely a possibility. I don't want to be this close to the enemies. Not really, at least. Oh, that Dark Knight is invulnerable. Did we get the point? We did. Maybe we don't even want to be here. He's not whoopsieing it up. That worm went thrust. He was so close to getting away with it. Speaking of close to getting away with it, if we can get that and just not die, we win. It's already over. If we can just get that point, so we just need to defend anyone who's trying to take it. There we go. Under 7 minutes. I didn't get to do anything. That was I hardly got to do anything. Most of the match, like, look at this. Watch this. Who has the most kills? Actually, some of the blue players has the most kills. Who has the most assists? There's a few blue, but actually the vast majority is yellow and red, just going battle. Damage, we have a few blue, but it's again mostly red and yellow. Meanwhile, in damage taken, may I introduce to you the entire blue team who didn't really fight. Sip, look at my damage. The Scholar. And despite my damage being so low, I'm like middle of the pack. There's a paladin here that didn't even do 50,000. That didn't really count. I feel like we were like that was the most spooned match ever. Like we won because so many of the nodes spawned near us, and red and yellow spent most of the match just fighting back and forth and it not amounting to anything. I'm pretty sure that's what caused it. Like, I was expecting us to get steamrolled by Battle High 5 players, but the highest I saw from the enemy was, I think, a Battle High 3? So, the red and yellow were fighting, but they were kind of equal, and no one were dying stupidly. So they didn't, like, give anything. Sip? Need to be right back real quick. Well, I'll wait. That's fine. So Vicels, in most situations that where matches play out like this, what's going to happen is one team just gets all of the nodes served to them, and the two other teams just, for some reason, decide to duke it out over an A rank or something that happens to be between them. And they just refuse to let it go, so they just fight over that A rank for like the early to mid game, and by the time they start to do other stuff again, the third team who has just been stealing nodes all over the place has like 1,000 points and are near victory. What happens next is that both of the other teams look at their points and decide to focus the lead, because both of the other teams are so far behind that they both might as well be third place. But if this exchange, like this basically proving grounds they've held for 5 minutes or so, works out, then what comes out at the end is like 4, 5, 6 players with Battle High 5 on both of those teams, or at least one of them, and like a whole bunch of Battle High on the rest of the team. And if they actually manage to turn this around and fight the sneaky team has no Battle High, which means that each of their players is going to be like a third weaker than the other teams at least. And it doesn't help that some players, you know, some jobs can just completely steamroll someone if they have Battle High 5. So, in my experience, the match where one team is just spoon-fed all of the points and then they win is extremely rare. Like the match we just had is extremely rare. The match where one team just gets spoon-fed in general is also very rare. But it usually turns out that the two other teams win. That's why I lean a little bit towards fighting the enemy team over nothing if you're winning a little too hard. That is weird. Maybe I just don't remember it as well myself, I don't know, but that is how I remember it. As wise Japanese man said, let them fight. I'm not kidding. I've seen that play out too many times and it leading to a loss. Like specifically it leading to a loss. And there's actually multiple reasons why that is. The nodes give some amount of points, right? especially in Onsalakaya, where it's like, if you capture the node, you get the points, guaranteed. But every time you kill someone on an enemy team, you steal, like, I think it's between 5 and 10 points from that team, on top of getting battle high and the kill. That's why you can sometimes see matches where one team is at 0 points. It's specifically because they lose points every time they have someone die. Myself says, do you play Ninja? A bit. I'm actually pretty okay at Ninja in Frontline. My first Crystalline Conflict match as Ninja was a long time ago in Season 1, I believe. Maybe Season 2. But I remember I got over 20 kills in that match because of Limit Break, of course. You know, the Limit Break that has been nerfed quite a lot. It's a lot harder to, I feel it's a lot harder to, like, flip Ninja Limit Break into something insane in Frontline. But it's okay. Sometimes you can do some crazy stuff with it. Titus says, I've usually prioritized nodes if they're right next to me or easy targets on the enemy side, buffing my team and dotting enemies as I go. I can never predict my teammates, so I try to play a long game. Yeah. Generally, the way that I go about it is quite aggressive. I've spoken about this previously. By the way, haven't forgotten to queue. I'm specifically waiting for Sip to come back. The way that I play Scholar, when there is combat to be had, notably, unlike the match we just had, is that I will use Adlocurium on myself. If there's party members near me, I might use deployment tactics. But when I have Adlocurium on myself, so that I have the damage buff that it provides, I will use Expedient, run up, dot someone, and like with the Expedient buff, and then deployment tactics on them. And then I'll just go back into safety of my team. So what you saw in that match was like, I didn't really show very much on the battlefield, specifically because there was no battlefield with enough players that I felt I could actually do something. Scholar is particularly good at really large fights, which means that they're probably better in Seal Rock seas, because people stay at a node to fight for longer. But the game strategy for Scholar, like if you've seen those like 2 million or even 3 million damage done Scholars in Frontline, the way they go about it is every time Expedient is available, Expedient, Biolysis, Deployment Tactics. And then 15 seconds later, Biolysis, Deployment Tactics. And then 15 seconds later, Expedient, Biolysis, Deployment Tactics. Like, you literally just have a dot ticking on something from start to finish. And if you then just, like, if you're in a point where you have Limit Break and you go, you know, Expedient, Biolysis, Deployment Tactics, 15 seconds later, you go Limit Break, Biolysis, Deployment Tactics, because that also gives you Expedient buff, or rather the damage bonus that Expedient gives you. And that means that you can actually chain the boosted Biolysis for 45 seconds, which like gives even more pressure. Like, that is the whole game plan when I'm playing Scholar. Just dot people. And then, hopefully, as a result, we win. Like, we get some kills. I'll just get the assists, that's fine. Also, hey Orion. I mean, we just won by all the nodes spawning at our spot and the other teams not getting enough battle high to stop us. The weirdest win. The entire blue team had the worst performance, pretty much, of all the teams, and we still won. Yeah, Titus, the key thing that helps for Scholar, in my opinion, is you can play aggressively, but you only want to get close enough to the enemy team that you can drop your Biolysis and then deployment tactics and then just run. You don't want to stick around to see what happens next, typically. At least in my experience. I typically use mummification either if there's like a sure kill, like this person isn't getting away and I'm in no danger, so I'll just run up to them and just cough on them, just or if someone approaches me. Like, it's the defense strategy, like to to deter them from staying. But for the most part, I won't actually use mummification that many times in a match. Simply because it's too close range. Like, it's scary in the same way that Machinist has so much range, but every once in a while you have to get close to use Bioblaster. At least, relatively close. I have a feeling that Red will want to compete with that one. Oh, yeah, here they come. I was really hoping that... Oh, yeah, yes, yes! I was really hoping that that ninja was going to go back to their teams, that I could spread the plague on them. Where's our team? I'm going to die. Yep. We are probably getting completely stomped if our team doesn't figure out how to get away from that. Whee! I don't know if I hit anything up there, but I had a free deployment tactics. Orion says, can anyone else do that? Like Affliction Warlock could do in WoW? No one else can in PvP, as far as I remember. Like in Final Fantasy XIV PvP, notably. That machinist is parked there. I'm guessing they were just like surviving on their barrier from their little machine. It's pretty funny. Hey Timer, I hope you're doing well. We're going a little bit back and forth with PvP. I feel like we've been doing better than last week, given that we've had more wins. What did Leeches do exactly, Titus? Wasn't Leeches just a Scholar's thematic Isuna? Like it was just the same as Isuna, but just a different name and animation? Oh, red and yellow are having a little bit of a proving grounds over there. That is very scary. Oh. That's not a lot of people I hit there. Ah. Xavier says, how's the tome count looking? Well, we're at 118 right now. We started at, I believe, 86. Titus wasn't lead. I do recall reading that Celine, you know, the alternative pet back then, had an AoE Isuna, basically. I'm guessing that that would be the one. Just doing the double spread to hit as many as possible. Hey, Dodon! Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. I'm glad that I could help you. There's a Shrank. There's a Shrank. That's what we call S ranks. Red is going to get that. They just had too much presence there, so just nothing. We're getting sandwiched. Where's our team? How's it possible for someone to chase me that far without getting any kickback of any significance? I think Yellow just forgot that there was another team. I think they just forgot that there's actually 3 teams. And just went, well, we could just, like, you could just beat the other team. And then afterwards they were like, oh, right, Red. Oh, yeah. Oh, well, that's how it is sometimes. I've talked about this before. If you're in last place, which Yellow is, then you don't actually care about who's in first place. You care more about if you can beat whoever's in second place. Oh, here comes the sandwich again. That is going to lead them to the win. Like, Red is just going to get way too many points from that. Get the scholar before it escapes. Nice. At least we got that. Oh well, we still got second place. I did nearly twice the damage of the second person on my team. But hey, exactly, second place, not bad. The unfortunate thing is that we don't get the 8 mock tomes from a second place, so it would have been nicer if we could have gotten a first place. It's a little weird that second place is just as good as third place in that. Titus says, at least the daily bonus all but assures you'll get a series rank until you get to around the 15 mark. If you want the series rewards, it's going to be really tight now, and you probably have to do more than that. But if you just do a daily, just one daily frontline every day, it's going to give you a massive boost. In the amount of XP you get. Rysel says the series are definitely easy in Crystalline Conflict. Not entirely, because they actually boosted the amount of series XP you get from the daily. One frontline match gives you, I believe it's like 1,500 for the daily. I believe it's 1,500, and then on top you get the win or lose experience, right? And that means that, so in Crystalline Conflict, if you win, you get 900. If you lose, you get 700. But a Crystalline Conflict match typically takes like 3, 4, maybe even 5 minutes. So, and you need to win 3 times to beat, you know, around 2,500. Oh, Ymir wants to join up. Sure, we can wait for you. Sip just tapped out because he's not feeling too well. But it seems that we're getting a bunch of people, and hey, look, there's Orion. Well, okay, so let me clarify on that, Bicels. If you want the series XP, do one frontline every day, just one, and then do Crystalline Conflict. I just want to add something Titus says about the spamming leeches. An AoE spammable debuff removal would be too good nowadays, based on sometimes as soon as necessary. It would be too powerful, and would make it so that encounters would have to do something else. Like, basically, if Scholar and only Scholar has AoE debuff removal, then the only way to combat that is to either never give raid-wide dots or debuffs, and only give them to individuals, and if you are giving raid-wide debuffs, they're never removable. Like, never, because otherwise Scholar would be too powerful. You could alternatively also give it to Sage, so that it's like a barrier healer thing. But the point is that it's a too powerful tool to have. Part of the problem with the pets, so Eos Celine, is that back in the day, you had the choice of Celine, who had the better healing, because they had things like Whispering Dawn, whereas Celine had like utility stuff, such as giving someone a slight speed boost to their damage, so that they had less GCD, or it could interrupt an attack, like it had a 1 second silence, and then it had the AoE debuff removal. Like it was like the toolbox of utility. In most situations, it made sense to use the healer, as far as I know. Well, I mean, I call her Celine. Right. So let me just do this again to be sure. If you want to join up for Frontline stuff, come over to me. Like, just walk on over to me, so that I know who wants to come and who don't want to come. Umia, how do you spell serene? Like serene? Like, I'm serene. How do you spell that? Fair enough. It's spelled like this. Nothing wrong with being dyslexic. That's totally fair. Totally fair. But I'm saying serene, and I'm saying Celine. The only difference is I'm replacing the R with an L. That's why I'm saying it like that. Well, now I have to share this. Ted Anima, also known as Me Who Else, made a little animation of Small Kai nodding back and forth. Whoops, sorry. It's so great. I love this. Thank you so much. This is a bribe. Now you better carry me. This is awesome. Thank you. So does that mean everyone over on the Candyland over there does not want to join? Is that right? Emi says, no, what I was saying that you said Selene had this and Selene had that. You said the same thing twice. So with S-E-L-E-N-E, it could either be Selene or Celine, as far as I know, specifically because I'm thinking serene, right? I'm not sure what is correct, but it makes sense to me to say Celine. That's why I say it like that. Because English weird. Do we know what the Japanese pronunciation of it is? Because that sometimes gives an indication if it's like, you know, if there's an extended E or I sound, then we would know. But it might be difficult to find. I'm not talking about the pronunciation. Oh, sorry. Then I don't know what you mean. Then I don't know what you mean. Did I say Celine twice? Oh, if I did, sorry, let me clarify. I'm very sorry. Eos had Whispering Dawn and 2 abilities that was basically the combination that leads to Fey Illumination. Celine had a slight speed boost, as in an attack speed boost, and an interrupt in the form of a 1-second silence, that's how it was done back then, and an AoE Isuna. So unless you actually need, like, if you needed the healing, Eos was always better. If you didn't, then, I mean, Celine had an advantage there. I'm very sorry about that, Emir. I didn't even realize. Right, well, I'm guessing that the people over at Candyland there want to just watch then. In that case, we'll have to, like, make 2 teams. So, I explained this before. The way I'll do it is if we make 2 teams, so we have Orion, Emir, and Lisa in one team, and then we have me, Gelano, and Ted, me who else, in the other team, then I'll call out a time where we're queuing, and then we queue together. Then, at minimum, we have a chance that we're landing in the same party. Well, we are landing in the same match, but we might not necessarily land on the same team. But that is still better than nothing, right? Does that work? So essentially, I don't know who leads. If one of you invites the 2 others to the party, then it works. Just let me know when you are grouped up. So I'll do a ready check. You should probably do the same. Let me know when you have done your ready check. And that everyone is ready, of course. Alright. We queue when the Eorzean time says 5:00, so click your clock to switch it to ET, and then queue when it says 5:00. It's important that it says ET. I'm just going to click Q when it says that. What I asked about is sometimes you can get an... If a character has a name, like a specific name in Final Fantasy XIV, and you're uncertain of the pronunciation, like if there's multiple ways to pronounce it, alright, get ready, and now. If there's multiple ways to pronounce it, and the spelling doesn't actually give it away, like for example with Celine, often the Japanese writing can give an indication of what they meant, because if they meant Selene, for example, then the Japanese writing, if assuming that Celine has the same name in then the Japanese version, back when you had summoned Celine, for example, would say, you know, Selene. And Orion says it's Serene or Serene. I'm guessing because it's in Japanese, it would be Serene, right? Serene. But it's literally serene. Like, it's basically the word Celine, so that doesn't help us much. So that's why I'm unsure. But that's also where, back when I went to school, I had a Danish teacher that said, like, second year of gymnasium, so that's by the point where you should be able to speak and write Danish fine, and spell things fine, once she had, like, observed that we all kind of knew how to write and spell correctly. She said, okay, I'm not really going to judge you on whether you make a lot of, like, grammatical errors, like, unless it's, like, really egregious. From now on, what matters is, do I understand what you're saying? If I do, then I'm going to assume that your way of placing the words is an artistic choice. So, the point was, if I understand what you're saying, then does it matter how you said it? Which is also the same, like, does it matter whether you spell it wrong or right? And also, thank you, Orion. Yeah. Sorry again, Emir, for the confusion. I genuinely thought that you were talking about the way that I said the word. I'm sorry about that. Maybe we should play something other than Scholar. We've been playing that a bit. Ninja. Oh yeah, we got the same team. Nice. Oh, Titus, the thing is that I actually play Scholar quite a lot in Frontline. Like, it's not like I'm going out of my way to play a little bit of Scholar. It was just, you know, it was a bonus that I could both show you Scholar a little bit, and then I could play a little bit of Scholar. But normally, Scholar is like one of my go-to jobs. So don't even worry about it. It was my pleasure. Well, is this the opposite of getting spoon-fed? We're not getting that point. We're basically getting nothing, it seems. We're actually just getting trounced from both sides. We have to get out of that cave. Teamer says, if you don't mind me asking, what is your favorite job to play? That changes a lot. Like it almost depends on the day. But some of the jobs that I play the most right now is Samurai. I'm playing a lot. And I also play Warrior a lot, and Paladin. Actually, I'm probably playing Paladin more than Warrior recently in PvE. And Sage is my favorite healer in PvE. And then Samurai. And Black Mage a little bit also. In PvP, it varies, but I think Ninja, Scholar, and Gunbreaker are like my go-to. I mean, Titus, look at it like this. Scholar is the only job that gets to actually really see the Carbuncle do anything. Like, what's not to love? You get to see the Carbuncle waggle its paws at people when it's healing them. It's just perfect. That's why I use the Carbuncle as my healer pet when I'm playing Scholar in PvE. Is that our Dragoon or an enemy Dragoon? I'm guessing it's an enemy. Looks like it was ours, though. Ow! That was a lot of damage. Are you kidding me? Just above the threshold as I click limit break. I think that was my first limit break and I messed it up. That is just classic. So I put down the Doton just in case the monk had some sort of idea of how to escape. Because I had a pretty good idea that we would kill him unless he had some special trick up his sleeve. And I didn't need to help with the damage. That was the specific reason that I decided to just go for crowd control in that way. It was because it didn't need to do anymore. We're going to lose a lot of people on that escape. Okay, that was not necessary. I was just about to use limit break just to make sure. Oh. There you say. Clicked the wrong person. That is suddenly very scary. Everyone coming in from all sides. Wow. I'm just going to distance myself a little bit, maybe. Hmm. I had a feeling. I survived specifically because I had the foresight to go, I should probably click heal now. That was the only reason. Everyone else seemed to just get smacked. Here it comes again. It's like a wave of danger. Well, you're also dead. Just free kill Dragoon, just landing in front of me. I don't have the power to finish that Dragoon, I don't think. I really wish I did. That full battle high was really nice. I could get it. Oh, red is in our base. Wonderful. Red just wanted to say hi. Hello! Knock knock! It was certainly effective. Why are we here? Why are we fighting here? We have the point, right? We're just trying to leech point. Oh, there's the sandwich. Don't want to get too far away from my team. Because then that happens. Oh, it seems like our team is just leaving. Oh, there's a shrank. That's why. Hmm. I can't really stop blue when we're like that like held up and we're like in two different places. Yeah, so basically our team was so thirsty that they split up their attention, it seems. I think. Oh well. Now we get last place. And now I'm running. That's for certain. I think that is a little too much. Well, I thought that was pretty fun. Despite everything, still fun. Despite everything, we still had fun. I'm thinking we can do one more match, and I think that's going to be the last one for the stream. Is everyone who is in the two teams still up for another round? If so, just make sure in the in team 2, have you done a ready check? Also, what job should I play next? What should we play? Yeah, how about Black Mage? Right, so we're waiting. Is getting their some of their wolf marks spent, so that they don't go to waste. I'll do a new ready check when everyone's back. But don't worry about that. It's you can have an entire match where everyone's on the same page and doing the same thing because like they're just following the strategy of like going for specific nodes, like just going for the biggest node. And then you can have everything fall to the floor because 2 S ranks spawn at the same time right at the end of the battle. I'm not saying that was what was happening, but certainly it didn't help that it seemed like our forces were split between 2 S ranks. I'm just doing an extra ready check just to be sure. All right. At 13 or 1, depending on your settings. So when the hour changes, we queue. When the hour changes, we queue. Your setting. Sorry. I clicked the wrong button when I was checking to set myself up to be watching live again. And I instead clicked the sound. And now. Right, so final match. Hopefully we win. How's our win rate this week? It's better than last week, that's for certain. So it's decent, regardless of which position we get, it's okay. Like, right now, it's actually average. We have, like, second and third place are basically equal in value, but that has been, like, 2/3 of our matches. And then we've had 1/3 of first place, at least on my team. But the 7th match is the one that's going to make the difference. We'll have had above average Mark Tome farm, I would say, if we have a win. And it's below if we get not a win. By the way, anyone gotten a good Kai to death ratio when you've landed on a different team? Gotten a lot of kills of me? Speaking of 1-1, it's pretty funny how different it becomes if you're doing like 1v1s in Wolf's Den Pier, because most jobs have like some sort of a insta-win strategy. Like if you're 1v1 against a samurai, the instant the time is up and they can use their limit break, every time you attack is a risk, because they might just click their whoopsie button just before you attack. Did we land on the same team? Doesn't look like it. well, then you have an opportunity to get some Kai kills if you're feeling fancy. Titus says not in Europe, but the best KDA I got was about 8-2-25 as Scholar. That's pretty good. Whoopsie doopsie, you attack me while I have my transcendence. It's also like Ninja, for example. Once you have your limit break up and running as a ninja in a 1v1 duel, it means that the opponent can no longer drop below 50% or they immediately lose. Also, we're split. We can't do anything there because we're too few. Red is combined as a unit fighting us off. I guess we're going for mid then, but we're getting sandwiched. Well, I don't have any more. There's also the part, Titus, that Scholar has a unique feature. If you use deployment tactics and it happens to spread to the samurai, that doesn't actually give you the debuff. So Scholar is like one of the only jobs that can safely pressure a samurai while they have their thing up. Oh, nice. 2 kills back to back. They're pretty good. A little slow, but got something. That's a lot of damage. That's a lot of damage. That's a lot of damage. I don't think I hit anything there. The awkward thing is that Super Flare has like a vertical range and it's weirdly short. Oh, look, a Scholar who's not with their party. That's going to be difficult. Yeah, I don't have a super flare, so I'll let someone else get that. North? Oh yeah, there's a shrank. We have a shrank. And it's rank. There you go. Battle High 5. Was that 6 minutes? I think that was 6 minutes. Oh, invuln. Alright then. I'll just kill the summoner instead. Why are we here? I don't feel safe here. That's what I'm getting at. I really don't. I don't know why we're here. Just letting blue get free reign of the entire map. Like, they just got an S rank served up on a plate. Like, if we don't actually do anything about blue, they'll just steal away the match from us. I tried to snipe that warrior as they were running. Not quite enough. And then red gets a rank from us focusing them. This is very difficult. Because red is abusing the fact that we kind of have to choose. Don't want to fight only 2 when you don't even have battle high or anything. Not fun. We are in agreement, it seems. There was a whoopsie there. Somehow I got a kill after I died. With no dot set up or anything. I got a kill after I died. How? I managed to get anyone surprised? I got a whoopsie after throwing, like, this indiscriminately throwing AoE explosions at the entire enemy team. Shocking, to say the least. Absolutely shocking. We just need to stay long enough to make sure we got it, and then just run north and see if we can grab that. Don't really care about red and blue exchanging some points over there. We just want to win. And we don't want to die. Like, we will actually win if we just don't die. Nice! Wait, a line in the storm? What's this? I got a mount! I got 2 mounts! And I did a lot of damage! That was a fun match. You know, if you put the enemy's HP at 0% before he does the same to you, you win. Incredible deduction in Tila. Incredible. Apparently I also got this recently. 30... I suppose this must have been from last week's Mock Tome stream. Well, let's see on the amounts. I'm guessing they're not particularly incredible. What? Apparently one of them is a ball. Another one of the balls. That is an interesting way to sit on a ball, I guess. Actually, that is a more interesting way. How are you holding on to that? Do you grab onto it with your hands? Was that what was happening? Pure willpower. Just holding on for dear life on a flat surface. Now we also have this. It's the Maelstrom horse. Gilano has the Adder horse. Now, see, the Maelstrom gave me a smaller horse because they deemed I didn't need a bigger one because I'm kinda small. Right. Let me just check what we started with. We started with 86. So we got 54. That's okay. That's true, right? It seemed to be the exact same size ball. Yeah, maybe they don't have those. And that is actually an interesting observation, because usually mounts are like sized after the character. Unless it's a multi-seater, and the ball there is certainly not a multi-seater. Although, if it was, I'm very interested to know where you would be seated. Sure, that counts, Emir. Counts to me. And then there's Kitsuneka over in the distance on an airplane. What was I talking about? 54. That's not great in a 3-hour session. Like, if I was in the business of, like, power farming as much as possible, that would have been very underwhelming, given that, like, just queuing for P1, I could get, like, 90 in 3 hours. I would also be very bored after 3 hours, but 54 in 3 hours, including the fact that we spent some time at the start talking about, like, farming strategies, and we spent some time in between goes with some breaks and some discussions and just randomly, like, just hanging out in general, just fun stuff, right? So 54 is not so bad. I believe it's more than last week. Titus says, saves a little work on the modeling team by just changing character position, I guess. I think it's because the nodes are just a mob in a raid. So they just went, one size. But I don't think it's a huge deal with the modeling to have different sizes. I'm guessing it's just a scale. I'm pretty sure, like, most mounts that have different, like, sizes is just a matter of scale. The reason why multi-seaters are always the same size is because... let me try and demonstrate. This is an aura-sized chocobo, right? This is a normal aura-sized chocobo. That is a Regadin-sized chocobo. Not Ellison, but Regadin. That, as you can see, significantly smaller, is an Ellison chocobo, and that is a Viera chocobo. So just, once again, just to clarify, you can see these are actually exactly the same. The reason is, if it actually scaled with the character... Yeah, actually, that is a really good example. If it scaled with the character, you can see Orion here, tiny Lalafell chocobo. If that chocobo actually was that small, then it would never work if a Regadin tried to sit on the extra seat. So that's why they make it like that. It's the same with cars and stuff like that. Then we have the motorcycle. That is also true. As I said in-game, what is the easiest way to get multi-seat mount? The easiest way to get a multi-seat mount is the ceremony chocobo is given to you if you get married with someone in game on more than the free version of the eternal bonding ceremony, I believe. Just as long as it's not the free one, I believe you get this. Maybe you even get it for the free one, but that means you just have to find someone to marry and then pay a little bit, and don't believe it's as expensive as a multi-seater mount from the store. But that would technically be the easiest. Alternatively, I believe the draft chocobo is granted to you if you invite a friend to the game, and they play for a significant amount of time. Like, if they actually buy the game and buy playtime, then you will get this draft chocobo, I believe. Those are, like, quote-unquote the easy ones. If not that, E4S, which is this one, drops a 4-seater mount, guaranteed, every time. So if you can do that, then that might be easy. And it's specifically that one that Intila is showing off here. Other options. Can I search? No, I cannot. Do we have any other ones? I don't think I do. Like, beyond that is, of course, you could just buy a multi-seater mount from the store. Like, that is of, like, in terms of practicality, it's obviously the easiest way to just, like, pull out the credit card. And that is technically the easiest way if we're really going to get, to be realistic here. Like, obviously that's the easiest way. But in terms of in-game practicality, I think it's something like the E4S mount that Dentila showed off. Because you just have to beat a fight. It's a guaranteed drop. So if no one in your team, if you're 8 players, if no one in your team has it, then there's a 1 in 8 chance that you get it first try. If people already have it, then you have a better chance. So yeah, that would be my advice. That would be the easiest one. Hypothetically, the most, like, easily attainable one, possibly, since you can do it unsynced and make it a little bit easier. How many seats does the blimp have? Oh, that is also a 4-seater. That one is 4 million MGP. 4 million MGP. So if you feel that it is very easy to find, to farm Mandible Gold Saucer Points MGP, then you can do that as well. I didn't even realize it was a multi-seater, because I wasn't sure where it would be seated. Same logic as the whale. Fair enough. Well, the reason why I said I'm not sure where it would be seated is because the explanation with the Luna whale is that you're sitting inside of it, right? It's like a spaceship. Whereas the blimp, based on where Gelano's name was, it looks like Gelano is there, like in the blimp. That is a weird place to be, but I don't know where else you'd be, because there's not. It's not like I mean, the alternative is that that Gelano's like just flat there, just holding on, like steering with this. You see what I mean? Like just like flat on her stomach, like holding on to it. So I don't think there's any logic to it, because it's supposed to be a reference to a different Final Fantasy game, and in that Final Fantasy game, you're in there. Like, it's a giant blimp, so it would never work in Final Fantasy if it was made correct size. But hey, it's a gold saucer mount. It makes sense that it's absolutely ridiculous. Right. So I hope you all had fun with some Frontline, whether you watched along or whether you were participating, whether you were on my team or against me. I hope you had fun. I hope you didn't mind if it felt like I was targeting you, because I wasn't. The only person that I actually was paying attention to, going, oh, I'm attacking him, is Sip. And that's because I know Sip is doing the same to me. He is specifically sometimes targeting me. Otherwise, I'm just playing, and I'm usually only targeting Sip if it doesn't matter who I'm targeting. Yeah. So, if you did enjoy the stream and you would like to see more of the people that you've seen in the chat, remember that the YouTube channel has a community Discord server, which you can join. And there you will find a bunch of the wonderful people you've seen here, including Sip and Kitsuneko and Orion, Numia and Gelano, and Rust. And you will also find the weekly schedule, where you can see what else is coming out on the channel in the next week or so, which does include a video about 10 weird features in Final Fantasy XIV coming out tomorrow. And then there's also a room with the announcements on the channel, which will be whenever I plan a video, whenever I'm about to release a video, whenever I'm planning a stream, whatever it is, it usually comes out there first. So if you want to keep track of that, it is more effective than hitting the bell even, and you can do both. But it's probably the most effective way to make sure you don't miss a thing. You can even sign up to have a role on the channel that makes it so that you get a little notification from me whenever I do one of these. But that's optional. On top of that, if you did enjoy the stream, it would help me a lot if you leave a like on the stream. Then YouTube knows that, oh, okay, that's a really good stream. Other people should watch the VOD. And it helps me a lot. So thank you in advance. And besides this, I think that's all I have. I have that, and then I just wanted to say again, thank you to me who else for this. So awesome. Really, such a great little animation. I love it. That is, of course, Small Kai. That is the animation of her nodding back and forth on the this week's schedule. And with that, I hope you all have a wonderful evening. So, good evening, good night, good morning, afternoon, depending on where you are in the world. And I'll see you all very soon. Bye-bye.